Hey, welcome to this week's episode of M3. I'm Jeff Muriel, pastor, New Spring Hill Missionary Baptist Church. M3, if you haven't caught it before, is where we take the opportunity each week to talk about everyday topics from a biblical perspective. And many of us we recognize that Valentine's Day is upon us. Um, and with that, many people, they plan to do something to express kindness and gratitude to those that they love. Our kids are taking Valentine's Day cards and candy to school. Couples are planning meals and have a plan to exchange gifts, some of them. But let me ask, have you considered loving someone or extending love to someone who hasn't felt loved lately? And I ask this not because Valentine's Day is coming up. I ask this question because love is the greatest gift that we can give each and every day. One thing I recognize is that for those that may stumble across our micro messages, is that not everyone is a believer in Christ. So I want to simplify this. I am a big proponent of music. Music has always been my escape from things, especially when I was a kid. So I'm going to use a couple of analogies here while I talk to us today about this topic. Where is the love? If you are at least my age, you can probably remember Dionne Warwick's song. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. And believe it or not, that song is 59 years old. But when we think about it and we think about the lyrics and we think about the message of the song, sometimes it feels like we're drowning in anxiety, uh, drowning in depression, rage, hate, anger, and division. Because what she sang about, pardon me, is still true. Our world is still in need of love. Um, Jesus said a lot of things about loving others. And here's just a few of them. He said, love your neighbor as yourself, which means, first of all, I got to learn to love myself. He also said, my command is this: love each other as I have loved you. Um, and then finally, greater love, greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. There's a lesson here, and the lesson is that love is non-negotiable. Because whether we are believers, atheists, as not agnostics, it doesn't matter. Everyone is in need of love. And truth be told, if people would be honest with us, they would all tell you if they don't know love, they would love to be loved. So I want to challenge us all this week. Um, if you made plans for Valentine's Day, that's great. Keep them. Uh, but I'm going to challenge you to alter your plans and do something just a little different. And that is to take the opportunity to show some love to someone that you know that needs love, but yet they're not expecting it. There's no need to buy cars or gifts or candy or any of those things. That's not what the challenge is about. Uh, the challenge truly is not to let the left hand know what the right hand is doing. In other words, use some discretion and love like Jesus loved. That's the challenge. And you say, well, how do I do that? Well, here's a suggestion, and this is how Jesus loved. Jesus loved by blessing and serving the poor, the sick, and the distressed. Listen, we're all under a lot of pressure these days. Some are able to cope with it, but there are others that are having a difficult time. Something as simple as a meal, a cup of coffee, and a phone call, not a text, because hearing someone's voice and them knowing that we care can make a world of difference. Um, how did Jesus love? Jesus loved, even though he encountered some people that didn't deserve his love, he still loved them. And so part of the challenge is love someone who may not love you. Love someone who may not routinely talk to you. Love someone that may have stepped away from you because they didn't understand what you were going through. But you have tried to express to them that it's the circumstances of life that may have interrupted things, not the absence of love. And when we do these things, people that we encounter this way, they may learn and understand what real love is. Make this a part of your life. Make this a part of your service to the Lord. You don't have to wait until February 14th to do it. We can do it as it's placed on our heart. This is something that we can do each and every day, each and every week, or whenever the Lord moves you to do it. And for you non-believers, whenever your heart tells you to do it. You know, I mentioned music, and I want to throw something at you, especially for us old heads who hair is turning gray and time is really catching up with us. Roberta Flack and Donny Hathaway, they had a song back in the 70s, and they asked the question, where is the love? Marvin Gaye, he asked the question, what's going on? And in that song, he said, we have to find a way. Ooh, excuse me. Still dealing with some stuff. We have to find a way to bring some loving here today. So you've heard the challenge. I've accepted the challenge. Are you willing to do your part to extend love to somebody who really, truly needs love? Listen, this has been your midweek micro message. Just one announcement before we go. Saturday morning, 10 o'clock, up on the hill, we have part 2 of our women's workshop on Ephesians. And as always, you're invited to worship with us each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. up on the hill. You can catch us live on Facebook, but we would really love to see you in person. This has been your midweek micro message. We'll see you next week.